Hello, word nerds. Welcome to the dictionary. I'm glad you're here. I am very glad you're here. Super glad. Okay. Let's see. Today is my sister's birthday. Happy birthday, sister. I don't call her sister. That's a weird thing to say. The Berenstain Bears? They called themselves they said sister and brother, and I don't know what the parents said. Did they have names? I think they did. But they called them each other sister and brother, which I always thought was kind of weird. Okay, this is an episode full of canons again, but these canons are spelled differently. So our first one is canon, canon, first form noun from before the 12th century. 1a, a regulation or dogma decreed by a church council. 1b, a provision of canon law. 2, the most solemn and unvarying part of the Mass, including the consecration of the bread and wine. Next is, 3a, an authoritative list of books accepted as Holy Scripture. Holy Scripture? 3b, the authentic works of a writer. Writer as in one who writes a book. 3c, a sanctioned or accepted group or body of related works, as in the canon of great literature. 4a, an accepted principle or rule. 4b, a criterion or standard of judgment. 4c, a body of principles, rules, standards, or norms. 5, a contrapuntal musical composition. Contrapuntal, I think I might be saying that correctly. I think that means counterpoint. So there's one part. Let's finish reading before we start talking about it. What are you doing? You're going against everything that you usually do. A contrapuntal musical composition in which each successively entering voice presents the initial theme, usually transformed in a strictly consistent way. So it's comes in one way, the point, the theme, whatever it is, and then other instruments come in and they have a similar but different version of that. I don't know. I think that's right. And then a synonym is the word law. So, because a lot of these had things like rules and standards and norms and principles, stuff like that. So that's just the general idea of canon. This is a Latin word, means ruler or rule or model or standard. And then let's see, a couple other ones had etymology that was different. I'm looking through, but I don't think we need to explain any of that. Okay. Now we have the second form of canon. It is a noun from the 13th century. 1, a clergyman belonging to the chapter or the staff of a cathedral or collegiate church. 2, synonym is canon regular. Let's see. This is from Latin canonicus, which means one living under a rule, and I think that is good. Next is canyon. canon still, except the first N has the little squiggly line over it. I think it's called a tilde or a tilde. And this is a variation of canyon spelled the normal English way that we think of it. But I'm guessing canyon with the tilde is the original way that it was spelled. That's my guess. Okay, next we have canoness. Canoness. This is a noun from 1682. 1, a woman living in community. It just says in community under a religious rule, but not under a perpetual vow. 2, a member of a Roman Catholic congregation of women corresponding to canons regular. Okay. Moving on to canonic. Adjective from the 15th century. 1, synonym is canonical. 2, of or relating to musical canon. Musical canon, that's the contrapuntal musical composition, I think. Okay, next is canonical. So we just had the synonym canonical. Now let's talk about canonical. Adjective from the 15th century. 1, of relating to or forming a canon. So many different ways this one word can be defined. It's spelled two different ways. You can talk about the things that shoot. You can talk about rules and standards. It's very confusing, don't you think? Okay, let's see. So where were we? Of or relating or forming a canon. Number 2, conforming to a general rule or acceptable procedure. Synonym is orthodox. 3, of or relating to a clergyman who is a canon. I cannot keep track of this. 4, reduced to the canonical form, as in a canonical matrix. Canonically is an adverb. Next is canonical form, 2 words, noun from 1851, the simplest form of something, specifically the form of a square matrix that has 0 elements everywhere except along the principal diagonal. I feel like I sort of know what that's talking about, but I can't think of an example exactly, but I've probably seen it somewhere. Okay, next is canonical hour, like minutes and hours and seconds. Noun from the 15th century. 1, a time of day canonically appointed for an office of devotion. 2, one of the daily offices of devotion that compose the divine office and include matins or matins with lauds, prime, terce, sext, non, vespers, and compline. Okay, this definitely seems religious, and so I have no idea what any of those things are, but a lot of you probably do know. Those are things that have funny words to me. Okay, next is canonicals with an S, noun from 1748. The vestments prescribed by canon for an officiating clergyman. Next is canonicity, noun from 1797. The quality or state of being canonical. Next is canonist, noun from 1542. A specialist in canon law. Next is canonize. This is a verb. Let's see. I think it is just transitive. I believe so. Okay, transitive verb from the 14th century. 1, to declare a deceased person an officially recognized saint. So somebody dies, they were so good, they become a saint, and that is called being canonized. Number 2, to make canonical. 3, to sanction by ecclesiastical authority. 4, to attribute authoritative sanction or approval to. 5, to treat as illustrious, preeminent, or sacred. Canonization is a noun. Let's see. Looking through the etymology, catalog of saints. Has to do with saints. Next is canon law. 2 words, noun from the 15th century. The usually codified law governing a church. Next is canon lawyer. Hey, what do you think? I think that they practice canon law. Noun from 1616. The synonym is canonist, which we already read was somebody who is a specialist in canon law. Next is canon regular, and the plural would be canons regular. This is a noun from the 14th century, a member of one of several Roman Catholic religious institutes of regular priests living in community under a usually Augustinian rule. Next is canonry, noun from the 15th century, the office of a canon, also the endowment that financially supports a canon. Next is canoodle. Yes, canoodle. So much different than all the rest of these other words. This is a verb from 1859. It is just intransitive. Where did I see? Yes, just intransitive because there's only one definition, which is 2 synonyms. The definition is 2 synonyms. They are pet and fondle, as in lovers canoodling in the park. What is considered canoodling and what is not considered canoodling? I don't think that is a conversation that we can have at the moment, but what things, you can just have fun and think about this on your own. What things would be considered canoodling? Where's the line? So, by the way, this is perhaps from the English dialect word, which is also canoodle, which means donkey or fool or foolish lover. So that's interesting to think about how those those are related. And then our last word is canopic, canopic jar. It could also be canopic jar, Canopic, and then the word jar, like a jar of peanut butter. Ooh, we just bought some of that cookie butter from Trader Joe's. Ooh, that stuff is so good. Okay, noun from 1893. A jar in which the ancient Egyptians preserved the viscera of a deceased person, usually for burial with the mummy. I think viscera just means like some of the body, right? So I don't know if it's a specific part. I just think it's a portion of the body, the dead body. Maybe it is the things that they pulled out of the body, because I know that when they make mummies, they pull lots of things out. They pull lots of organs out, and the brain and the heart and all that. So maybe those would be the viscera. And then I think, yes, this is sort of sounding familiar. Then they put those things in these jars, these canopic jars or canopic. And then the name comes from Canopus, Egypt. Canopus, Canopus, Egypt. Maybe they were the first ones who decided that they should keep all of these organs and gross things in jars, because that's what normal people do, right? All right, well, if you want to learn more about Canopus, you can listen to the next episode, but I will tell you that there is a picture on the next page, which doesn't usually happen this way, but on the next page there is a picture of a canopic jar. It just looks like a jar, probably ceramic, but then at the top of it is a sculpted head. Typically the mask that you would see on a mummy looks like one of the pharaohs, so it's it kind of looks like a pharaoh, a person is inside of a jar with just their head poking out, which I think is kind of funny. Okay, so we had a bunch of canon words: canon, canyon, canoness, canonic, canonical, canonical form, canonical hour, canonicals, canonicity, canonist, canonize, canon law, canon lawyer, canon regular, canonry, canoodle, and canopic jar. Well, I just feel like I have to pick canoodle as the word of the episode, because other than canopic jar, it was the most different. It's also just a fun word to say. A canoodle is a donkey as well as fondle. I wish some of these rhymed so it would be easier to make a song. I don't think I did any singing in this episode, really. Canoodle, canoodle. It's gonna mess with your noodle, because it means a donkey, but it also means fondle. Canoodle, canoodle. Don't think too hard about it. There were too many syllables in that last one. Okay, I think that is it for today. Thank you very much for listening. I sometimes feel like I should add a little bit more at the end. If you want to know about what I'm doing in my life, I don't usually do this, like what I'm watching, because that's fun. For you adults, Big Mouth is amazing. I will continue to plug Ologies, which is a fantastic podcast that I am still trying to catch up on. What else are we watching? I haven't really. We've just been watching a lot of movies. It's Christmas time when I'm recording this, so we watched Home Alone. We watched Die Hard. We watched Elf. We're probably gonna watch National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation pretty soon. We've watched some other not kid-friendly Christmas movies, like horror movies, and one in particular was pretty messed up. Oh, we also watched Happiest Season, which was a very good romantic comedy. I mean, as romantic comedies go, I thought it was one of the better ones. It was very cute and fun, and it has a very good message. I think it's definitely a romantic comedy for the today times. All right, I think I've talked enough. We have finished page 180. Thank you very much for listening. Until next time, this is Spencer dispensing information from this book through my mouth, into the microphone, into the recorder, into your headphones, and then into your ears. Goodbye. Hello, word nerds. Welcome to the dictionary. So yesterday was January 20th, and I cannot remember if I mentioned either of these two things, but it was my sister's birthday, so happy birthday. Also, maybe more importantly to most of you, is the fact that January 20th here in the States is every 4 years is Inauguration Day. So theoretically, as I record this on December 26th, 2020, theoretically, Joe Biden has been inaugurated as the next president of the United States. I really, really hope that nothing has happened to make that change. So let's hope that happened, and let's see where things go from there. I think I should have started this 21 days ago, but I think I'm going to, read off some things that are happening each day because this is a daily podcast. Some of you might hate this. I don't really care. I'm going to say it anyway. So today, January 21st, in the United States is National Hug Day. So go hug somebody. It's also National Hug Day in Canada and India. And in Russia, it is the death anniversary of Vladimir Lenin. In Mexico, it is Mariachi Day. So go listen to some mariachi music because they are awesome. In the Dominican Republic, it is Our Lady of Altagracia. And in Norway, it is Princess Ingrid Alexandra's birthday. So happy birthday, princess. Okay, enough of that. Our first word is canopus. Capital capital C-A-N-O-P-U-S, canopus. This is a noun from 1555. It is a star of the first magnitude in the constellation Carina. How do you say that? Carina. Not visible north of 37 degrees latitude. So sorry, all of you who are above 37 degrees latitude, you will not be able to see this star. Moving on to canopy. First form noun from the 14th century. 1a, a cloth covering suspended over a bed. It sort of makes it feel like a fort. 1b, a cover, as of cloth, fixed or carried above a person of high rank or a sacred object. And a synonym for that is, I'm going to assume that it is pronounced baldachin. Baldachin. Oh, God, we must have read that one a while ago, didn't we? I can't remember. 1c, a protective covering, as 1c1, the uppermost spreading branchy layer of a forest. 1c2, synonyms are awning and marquee. Number 2, an ornamental roof-like structure. Some people probably like to say roof-like. Roof-like, roof-like. 3a, the transparent enclosure over an airplane cockpit. 3b, the fabric part of a parachute that catches the air. That's like the vast majority of a parachute. The etymology is from, Middle Latin canopium, or canopium, which means mosquito net. That is from the Greek kanopos, canopion or kanopes, which means mosquito. That's a very specific, direct connection. Canopies and mosquito nets. That's cool. Second form of canopy is a verb from 1594, just transitive, to cover with or as if with a canopy. Next is canorous or canorous. C-A-N-O-R-O-U-S, adjective from 1646, pleasant sounding. Synonym is melodious. Canorous. Canorously is an adverb, and canorousness is a noun. And this is from Latin canor, which means melody, from canere, which means to sing, and there's more at the word chant. And that's probably where the bird name canary comes from, because they sing, I would assume, because most birds sing. But to them, it's communication. They're communicating with us, and we say they are singing. My songs are not so canorous. Next is, you could probably pronounce it a couple ways. Let's see, canst or const, C-A-N-S-T. This is archaic. It's another version of the word can, like I can. So it's a very old way to say I can do this. I canst. Next is cant, C-A-N-T. There are 6 forms of this, and then there's a couple more after that are not officially other forms. So, cant, adjective from the 14th century. This first form is English dialect. Synonyms are lively and lusty. I sure would love an example, because I'm not sure I'm completely understanding that. Second form of cant is a verb from circa 1543, starting with transitive. 1, To give a cant, see, it could be cant. I'm not entirely sure. I'll just say cant. To give a cant or oblique edge to. Synonym is bevel. 2. To set at an angle. Synonym is tilt. Yeah, cant. Like you say something is canted when it's like tipped over, it's angled. Number 3 is chiefly British. It is to throw with a lurch. And now we have intransitive. 1. To pitch to one side. Synonym is lean. And number 2, synonym is slope. Now we have the third form of cant. Noun from 1603. 1 is obsolete. Synonyms are corner and niche. I assume that it is pronounced niche in this case. Niche. Words that are spelled that way, I think, are often pronounced in various ways. Like cache is another one. Cache. Number 2, an external angle, as of a building. 3, a log with one or more squared sides. 4a, an oblique or slanting surface. 4b, synonyms are inclination and slope. This is from Middle Dutch, edge or corner. From Latin, canthus or cantus, which means iron, tire, perhaps of Celtic origin, akin to the Welsh word cant or cant, which means rim, perhaps from the Greek canthos, which means corner of the eye. Is that the literal corner of the eye, or is that something more metaphorical? I don't know. Okay, now this is the time for the fourth form of cant, adjective from 1663. 1, having canted corners or sides. 2, the number 2 definition for the word inclined is the synonym. Fifth form of cant, this is intransitive verb. I think it's only that. It is from 1567. 1, to talk or beg in a whining or sing-song manner. 2, to speak in cant or jargon. Number 3, to talk hypocritically. Interesting. I can't think of an example of hearing this used that way. This is perhaps from the Middle French dialect, and then in parentheses it says Norman or Normand and Picard. Those are the dialects or the regions. The word is canter. They say it much fancier than I do, and that means to tell or literally to sing. From the Latin cantare, we talked about that before. There's more at the word chant, so it's talking and singing and stuff. Sixth and final form of cant is a noun from 1640. 1, affected sing-song or whining speech. 2a, the private language of the underworld. Ooh, that sounds interesting. What's the underworld and what's their language and how can we learn this private language? 2b is obsolete. The phraseology, peculiar, I wanted to say particular. The phraseology peculiar to a religious class or sect. So it's specific to them. Their phraseology is specific to that group, class, sect. Now we have 2c. We have the number 2 definition for the word jargon. 3, a set or stock phrase. 4, the expression or repetition of conventional or trite opinions or sentiments, especially the insincere use of pious words. Okay, now we have what I will say is the seventh form of cant, but it is not officially that. It is capital C-A-N-T. It is an abbreviation for 1, Canticle of Canticles. It's the Canticle of Canticles, the Canticle of Canticles, the Canticle of Canticles. Cant is also an abbreviation for number 2, Cantonese. That may be the only song you get in this episode. The Canticle of Canticles. I feel like that would be a song that you would hear in like a musical movie from the 50s or the 60s. You know, saturated colors. I haven't seen a lot of them, but that sounds like something. It also reminds me of the old, also from that sort of same period, there's an old movie called The Court Jester with Danny Kaye. And there is a great scene, it's so classic, where they're talking about there's like a whole like poison thing, and they put the poison in this thing, but it's not in this thing, and they have this wonderful word soup thing. Maybe I'll even put an example, but it's just this classic the vessel with the pestle has the brew that is true, and it just goes on from there.
The pellet with the poisons in the vessel with the pestle, the chalice from the palace has the brew that is true.
Oh, the pellet with the poisons in the vessel with the pestle, the chalice from the palace has the brew that is true.
Good man. Just remember that.
Okay, now we have the word can't again, but you could also say can't. It has an apostrophe, C-A-N, apostrophe T. And then it says especially southern dialects, you could say can't. So it's can't, or can't. It is from the 15th century, and it just means, I mean, you all know this, it means cannot. Cannot, I cannot do that. I cannot combine these words to say can't. Oh, but I just did it. All right, next we have cantab or cantab. Cantab? I think it's cantab. Capital C-A-N-T-A-B. Cantab. Noun. Boy, I'm going to feel so stupid if it's not pronounced that way, but that's what it looks like. This is a noun from 1697, and it means, this is our last word. The synonym is our last word, Cantabrigian. Cantabrigian. So it is short for Cantabrigian, cantab. But before that word, we have to say the word cantabile, or cantabile, C-A-N-T-A-B-I-L-E, cantabile, or cantabile, adverb or adjective from circa 1724, in a singing manner, often used as a direction in music. So this is Italian from the Latin cantabilis, which means worthy to be sung. This part of the music is worthy to be sung. All the rest of this song is not worthy to be sung, but this part, this cantabile, is worthy to be sung. And then our last word is Cantabrigian, capital C-A-N-T-A-B-R-I-G-I-A-N. This is a noun from circa 1540. 1. A student or graduate of Cambridge University. I assume that's in England, but there might be others. I visited there years ago, just briefly, walked around their campus. It was very nice. I was killing time. Number 2, a native or resident of Cambridge, Massachusetts. Yeah, so there's a Cambridge in England, there's a Cambridge in Massachusetts, maybe there's other Cambridge universities, but either way, they are Cantabrigian. So that's interesting because why did they change the spelling? It's an N instead of an M. This says it is from Middle Latin Cantabrigia, which means Cambridge. So I think that's kind of interesting. There was a change in the spelling there. I'm not sure why that happened. But I will tell you a little bit of information that I think I learned correctly. When I was in Cambridge in England, there's the Cam River, C-A-M River, and there are lots of bridges over this Cam River, so they called it Cambridge or Cambridge, however you want to say that. I'm assuming, I don't know why that would be wrong, because I'm pretty sure we took a little boat ride on the Cam River, so that must be true, right? Okay, enough of that. We had canopus, canopy, canoris, const, or canst, can't, can't or can't, with an apostrophe, cantab, cantabile, cantabrigian. What am I going to pick today? I don't know what I'm going to pick today because I can't think of anything to pick today. I think I kind of want to pick canopy just because I thought it was really interesting that it comes from the word that means mosquito or mosquito net, and that's what a canopy is. Yep, I think that's good. So thank you very much for listening. Let's see where the world goes now that we have a new president in the United States, and go hug somebody because it's National Hug Day. Thank you very much for listening, and until next time, this is Spencer dispensing information. Goodbye. Hello, word nerds. Welcome to the dictionary. Okay, so let's just quickly say some things that are happening today around the world. In the U.S., there are no major holidays or observances. I feel like there should be something, though. Isn't every day something like National Peanut Butter Day? Why isn't there anything on this day? Maybe I'm looking at the wrong website. But in Russia, it is... Oh, this is fun. It is Bloody Sunday. In Ukraine, it is Ukrainian Unity Day. So all of you Ukrainians get together and listen to this podcast all together at once. In Bolivia, it is Multicultural State Day. So some good things to celebrate. Maybe not so sure about Bloody Sunday. I don't know the details of that one. Okay, let's talk about some words. The first one is Cantal, C-A-N-T-A-L, noun from 1890. A hard cheddar-type cheese made in the south of France. It is hard and it is cheddar-type. This is from Cantal, which is a mountain massif, and department in Auvergne, France. So there is an area in Auvergne, France called Cantal, and that's where they make this cheese. Cantal. Next we have Cantala. We just added an A to the last one. Noun from 1911. A hard fiber produced from the leaves of an agave. And the scientific name is Agave cantala. Let's see, it is a specific epithet of Agave cantala, perhaps from the Sanskrit Kantala with a K, which means babul, B-A-B-U-L. Also from Kanta with a K, which means thorn. I'm assuming that one is also Sanskrit. Yes, I think agave plants might have thorns on them, so maybe that's where some connection came from. Not entirely sure, but yeah, that's a Kantala. Next is cantaloupe. Cantaloupe. You can spell it with an E or no E, whatever you like. This is a noun from 1739. 1. A small, widely cultivated muskmelon with a heavily netted rind and reddish-orange... Ooh, excuse me. I had a burp. And a netted rind and reddish-orange flesh. Broadly, we have the A definition for the word muskmelon. The scientific name is Cucumis mello reticulatus. Cucumis mello reticulatus. I like cantaloupe okay. I have memories. We had a melon baller when I was a kid, so I just have memories of scooping out balls of cantaloupe for whatever reason, either to eat or for a thing. I don't know. It was a very satisfying feeling to scoop just like a perfect sphere, other than maybe like a little part, a little section. Otherwise, you had a perfect sphere, and I don't know, something very satisfying about that. Okay, number 2 for cantaloupe, a muskmelon with a rough, hard, warty rind. It's got a lot of warts on it. That is not usually grown in North America, and the scientific name for this is Cucumis mello cantalupensis. And this is from Cantalupo, which is a former papal villa near Rome, Italy. So maybe that's where the first ones were grown, and they said, we're going to call it a cantalupo. Some people can't say that. We're going to say cantaloupe. Next is cantankerous. Cantankerous. This is an adjective from 1772. I feel like when I get old, I might be cantankerous. It is difficult or irritating to deal with, as in a cantankerous mule. Cantankerously is an adverb, and cantankerousness is a noun. This is perhaps from the irregular, obsolete contact, C-O-N-T-A-C-K, not contact, it is just contact, and that means contention. So they're very contentious when you're cantankerous. Okay, next is cantata. It's just spelled like it sounds. Noun from 1724. A composition for one or more voices, usually comprising solos, duets, recitatives, and choruses, and sung to an instrumental accompaniment. It's a cantata. And it is from Italian cantare, which means to sing. Next we have cantatrice. There's a couple ways to say this. Cantatrice. I think that's maybe the Italian way to say that. Cantatrice. And then there's also cantatrice. Cantatrice. It is spelled C-A-N-T-A-T-R-I-C-E. Cantatrice or cantatrice. Noun from 1801. A woman who is a singer, especially an opera singer. No, I am not going to try to sing opera, because then I'd have to be very, very loud, and nobody wants that. Let's look at the etymology. In general, yeah, I mean, it means singer. Latin cantator, singer, a woman who is a singer. That is what it is. Next, we have cant dog or cant dog, 2 words. This is a noun from 1850, and we have the synonym peavy, Peavey, peavy. I'm not entirely sure what either one of those means, cant dog or peavy, so sorry about that. I can't help you. Next is canteen, noun from 1737, 1A, a portable chest with compartments for carrying bottles or for cooking and eating utensils. 1B, a flask for carrying liquids, as on a hike. 1C, synonym is mess kit. 1D is British, a chest for storing flatware. 2A, a bar at a military post or camp. 2B, a general store at a military post, synonym is exchange. 2C, an establishment that serves as an informal social club, as for soldiers or a community's teenagers. And then 2D, a small cafeteria or snack bar. This is from the French cantine, which means bottle case, or sutler's shop, S-U-T-L-E-R, sutler's shop. From the Italian cantina, which means wine cellar. Oh, that reminds me of the Star Wars cantina. Okay, I could go on for a long time. Cantina means wine cellar, and it's probably from canto, which means corner. Maybe it was on like the corner of 2 streets. From the Latin canthus, which means iron tire, and there's more at the word cant. Okay, yeah, that was very helpful. When I was a kid, before I went to camp, my mom was telling us about camp and what we could expect, and that they had a thing called canteen, where you could go and maybe like your parents gave you some money or something, and you would go to canteen maybe after dinner or something, or after lunch, and you could go get like a snack, a candy or whatever, and then later they were asking, what are you excited about for camp? And I said, oh, I can't wait to go, because I wanted to get candy. I said, I can't wait to go to thermos. And I had mixed up thermos and canteen in my head because they're essentially the same thing. What was that? The 1B definition, a flask for carrying liquids as on a hike. It's a canteen. It's a thermos. It's the same thing. And my stupid little brain, it was not stupid. It was just young. I thought that it was called thermos, which I just think is a hilarious name for something that is not what it is at all. Moving on to canter, C-A-N-T-E-R, first form, noun from 1609, one who uses cant. As A, synonyms are beggar and vagabond. Now, which form of cant is this? I'm not sure. There's a lot about angles and corners, talking. Oh, that's probably what it is, the jargon. So beggars and vagabonds use their own sort of special language or jargon, depending on what their life is like. I think that's probably what it's talking about. And then we have B, a user of professional or religious cant. Okay, next is the second form of canter, verb from 1706. We are starting with intransitive, I think, yes. 1, to move at or as if at a canter. And the synonym is lope, L-O-P-E. Number 2, to ride a horse at a canter. That's a certain level. There's like trot and canter and gallop. And then the transitive verb definition says to cause to go at a canter. This is short for the obsolete Canterbury, which is from Canterbury, England, which is from the supposed gait of pilgrims riding to Canterbury. That's gait, G-A-I-T, so they would the pilgrims would ride to Canterbury on their horses at a canter, is what I'm guessing from that. All right, third form of canter, noun from 1755. 1, a 3-beat gait. That's again the walking, not the talking. A 3-beat gait resembling but smoother and slower than the gallop. So 3 beats. I think that would mean that 2 of their legs, assuming that it is a 4-legged horse, or some other animal, that 2 of their legs would land at the same time. So there are 3 beats. Da-da-da, 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 probably like that. But it's not quite as fast as a gallop. And then number 2, a ride at a canter. I remember when I was a kid, well, I have lots of kid stories, don't I? We were horse riding with another family, and the dad of the family said to the person who was leading us, it was a joke that I did not understand at the time. He said, is this a canter? And then I think the person said, no, it's a trot. I don't know. I'm going to totally ruin this, but he had some joke that was relating to, maybe I could save this story for the episode in a couple of days. Anyway, there's another word that's canter that's spelled differently, but that sounds the same. That is somebody in a religious ceremony who would sing. And so he made some joke about that, and I completely ruined everything. So we're going to finish up this episode with 3 more words. Okay, let's do this. Now we have Canterbury Bell, 2 words with a capital C. This is a noun from 1565. Any of several bell flowers cultivated for their showy flowers. As the synonym, the scientific name, Campanula medium. I don't think that's how they say that. Campanula medium. And this is from Canterbury, England. Next we have cantharidin, or cantharidin. This is a noun from 1819, a bitter crystalline compound, C10H12O4, that is the active blister-producing ingredient of cantharides, which, are we going to see that? No, I don't think we are. Yes, we are actually, because our next word is cantharis, 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 but the plural is cantharides. It's not cantharises, or cantharises, or canthari. It's cantharides. This is a noun from the 14th century. Number 1, we have the number 1 definition for the word Spanish fly. Number 2, a preparation of dried beetles as Spanish flies, used in medicine as a counter-irritant and formerly as an aphrodisiac. So that's cantharis or cantharides. Okay, so today we had cantal, cantala, cantaloupe, cantankerous, cantata, cantarice, cant dog, canteen, Canterbury Bell, cantharidin, and cantharis. What am I going to pick as the word of the episode? I definitely like cantankerous. There is still part of me that kind of wants to do a little song for the word of the episode, but, sometimes I just, when the inspiration hits, I just start doing something stupid in the middle of the episode. Cantankerous. Yep, it's just a good word. I like it. I also like cantata, because those things are fun to say. All right, thank you very much for listening, and until next time, this is Spencer dispensing information. Goodbye. Hello, all you lovely word nerds. I almost forgot what I say. This is the podcast where I talk to you about all the stuff in the English language. So today is January 23rd. It is National Pie Day in the U.S., Canada, and the United Kingdom. Why haven't all the other countries gotten on board with National Pie Day? Maybe it's because maybe there's an International Pie Day that's March 14th. If you know what that is, you know what that is, and we'll talk about that on March 14th. But today you can also eat some pie. And then also in Argentina, it is National Musician Day. So go celebrate musicians while eating some pie. The first word for this episode is canthazanthin. 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 Noun from circa 1951. A naturally occurring carotenoid, C40H52O2, used especially as a color additive for food. Canthazanthin. This is from the New Latin, Cantharellus cinnabarinus. Cantharellus cinnabarinus, that is a mushroom species from which it is obtained. So that's that. That's the part of the word that's cantha. Cantha is from Cantharellus cinnabarinus. Cantharellus cinnaberinus. That is a mushroom species, and then they added the other parts to the word as well, which have some scientific meaning. Okay, next is cant hook. 2 words, noun from circa 1848. A lumberman's lever that has a pivoting hooked arm and a blunt, often toothed metal cap at one end. And then it says compared to the word peavy, which we learned in the last episode is also a cant dog. So maybe we'll look for a picture of this cant hook, and we can learn more about this lumberman's lever. Next, we have canthus, Canthus, noun from 1646, either of the angles formed by the meeting of an eye's upper and lower eyelids. Ah, yes. Where was that we learned in Greek? Oh, I am scanning through. Here we go. For the word cant, the Greek word canthos is the corner of the eye. So the canthus is, the inside or the outside where your eyelids meet. That is the canthus. Bet you didn't know that. All right. I could have just looked at this. It said it is from the Greek word canthos, although it doesn't say what it is, but it says it in the definition. Okay, next we have canticle, noun from the 13th century. We just have the synonym song. So a canticle is a song, but it is specifically one of several liturgical songs taken from the Bible. And an example is the Magnificat. Doesn't say magnificent or whatever. It's just Magnificat. That cat is so magnificat. So that is what a canticle is, and it is from Latin canticulum, diminutive of canticum, which means song. That's good for that. But now we have the Canticle of Canticles. There is no the. I just said that. It's just Canticle of Canticles with capital C, C's, because there's 2 of them. It is from 1609. The synonym is Song of Solomon. And then next we have another related word. It is canticles. So it's not canticles of canticles, or canticle, because the first one is singular. Wow, I'm talking a lot. It is just canticles. This is a noun from the 15th century, and again, the synonym is Song of Solomon. So it's Solomon's song is canticles, but it's also other songs from the Bible. Next, we have cantilena, or cantilena, noun from circa 1740. It is a vocal or instrumental passage of sustained lyricism. A vocal or instrumental passage of sustained... Well, I'm not entirely sure what you think about this, but an instrumental passage of sustained lyricism doesn't really make sense to me, because when I think of lyricism, I think of lyrics and words, and usually instruments don't produce words. But I think that there is another definition where something can be lyrical, even though there aren't words or lyrics. It's kind of a vague idea to get across, I think. But yes, I think instrumental passages can be sort of lyrical in the way that they're played or written. So that is what a cantilena is. Yeah, that's good for that. Next we have cantilever, Cantilever, first form noun from 1667, a projecting beam or member supported at only one end. So you got to make sure that it's supported real well if it's only supported by one end, because depending on how far it goes out, that it could be very dangerous. As we have 2 examples, A and B. A says a bracket-shaped member supporting a balcony or a cornice. And B, either of the 2 beams or trusses that project from piers toward each other, and that when joined directly or by a suspended connecting member form a span of a cantilever bridge. Oh, I think we talked about bridges a while ago. Yeah, so definitely it gets its name from that word cant, which is all about angles and things like that. Yeah, that's when you see something, I guess, projecting out from one end, you can just call it a cantilever. Second form of cantilever is a verb from 1902, starting with transitive, to support by a cantilever, as in a cantilevered shelf. 2, to build as a cantilever. And now we have intransitive, to protect, as a cantilever. Next we have cantillate. I can't be late to read you this definition for cantillate. I am already late because I said that stupid joke. This is a transitive verb from circa 1828, to recite with musical tones. Cantillation is a noun. Let's see, this is from Latin cantillare, which means to sing. See, we've had a lot of words in the last few episodes that are all about singing and songs, and I like it. Okay, next we have cantina, noun from 1844. Number 1 is from the Southwest. I assume that's American Southwest. It is a pouch or bag at the pommel of a saddle. So right there on the saddle, you got your cantina. Number 2 is also Southwest. It is a small bar room. Synonym is saloon. So this is American Spanish from Spanish. It is a Spanish word, cantina, which means canteen, which we learned in the last episode. It is from Italian, which means wine cellar, and there's more at the word canteen. Next we have, so it sort of sounds like canteen. It's canteen, C-A-N-T-I-N-G, canteen. It is an adjective from 1663, affectedly pious or righteous, as in a canteen moralist. Very pious, very righteous, doing the right thing, doing the right stuff, or at least they think they are. Okay, next we have cantle, C-A-N-T-L-E, noun from the 14th century. 1. A segment cut off or out of something. Synonyms are part and portion. You're just going to get a cantle of that. Number 2, the upward projecting rear part of a saddle. The upward projecting rear part of a saddle. I know that there's a projecting part in the front where you can put your hands, or you can wrap the rope or the leather around it. But I don't have as much experience with saddles as maybe some people, so I didn't realize there was, I don't think about the back part of the saddle, but that's called the cantle, because it is from Old French chant, which means side or edge. It's related to those cant words a couple episodes ago. Next, we have can't miss. 2 words with a hyphen, and the can't has an apostrophe, so that means cannot miss. This is an adjective from 1975. Certain to have a favorable result, performance, or reception. Synonym is surefire, as in a can't-miss prospect. That is a surefire thing. We are definitely going to make that thing happen. It's going to be great. That performance is going to be wonderful. It's can't miss. Everybody's going to love it. This podcast is a can't-miss podcast. You can't miss it. It's right there. Next, we have canto, C-A-N-T-O, noun from 1590, one of the major divisions of a long poem. This is from Latin cantus, which means song, from the word which means to sing, from chant. Or there's more at the word chant. So there's a long poem, and one of the major sections is a canto. I think poems used to be sung often, so that's why it's related to singing. And then we have our last word, 2 forms. It is canton, or canton, C-A-N-T-O-N, canton. First form, noun from 1522, a small territorial division of a country, as A, one of the states of the Swiss Confederation, and B, a division of a French arrondissement. So Paris, I know, is divided up in arrondissements. So maybe a section of one of those is called a canton. But it also just says French arrondissement. So I wonder if the whole country is divided up into, that makes sense. A lot of countries, states, cities, they're divided up into sections, arrondissements in this case. So that's probably just the French word for that. And then a portion of that is a canton. It's lots and lots of subdivisions. Cantonal or cantonal is an adjective. And this is from Italian cantone, from canto, which means corner. Yep, a lot of the same stuff we've seen before. And then the second form of canton is a noun from 1572. Number 1 is obsolete. Synonyms are division and section. 2, the top inner quarter of a flag. Oh, so I think, I heard about this recently when I was listening to the podcast Ologies. It was a whole episode about flags. And so in the American flag, in the top left, we have that section that's blue, and it has the stars, and that is called the canton, or canton. And then we have number 3, the Dexter Chief Region of a heraldic field. So it's just a canton is just a section, a portion. Okay, so we had canthizanthin, canthook, canthus, canticle, canticle of canticles, canticles, cantilena, cantilever, cantillate, cantina, canting, cantle, can't miss, canto, and canton or canton. I think I might just pick cantina as the word of the episode because it's just a fun place to be. Hopefully, nobody has their arm cut off, but maybe there's some aliens playing some music. And I guess, I already did it in the last episode, but I'll do it again. The Cantina song from Star Wars. Oh, fun fact. There is a similar scene in Team America, and I think what they did to play the music there is they actually played the Cantina song from Star Wars backwards, if I remember correctly. I can't do that, but I can also just go... I think that's enough for today. Thank you very much for listening, and until next time, this is Spencer dispensing stuff. Thank you and goodbye. Hello, word nerds. Welcome to the dictionary. We are at the end of page 181, so this is the time where I have to say, it's just a habit of mine. Please rate and review. If you haven't done that already, I sure would love a review. I want to know what you got to say. I like to hear what people think of this. 5 stars would be great, and then be honest in the review. Also, just please share. And there's a Patreon. If you want to send me a message, I got the Instagram and the Twitter and the Facebook and the email and a Google Voice, so you can leave me a voicemail. And if I like it, maybe I'll play it in an episode. Okay, so today is January 24th in the U.S. Let's see. It's International Day of Education, so that's worldwide, which is good. We need education. If you think this podcast is educational, please tell other people, because I don't know about you, but I have been educated by a lot of stuff. In Canada, the U.S., and the United Kingdom, it is National Compliment Day. So go give somebody a compliment. One of those compliments could be a nice review on my podcast. So it is also in Canada and the U.S., and I swear I did not know this going into this, it is National Peanut Butter Day. So yesterday, I think I said, every day they think there's something. And as an example, I said National Peanut Butter Day. I had no idea that literally the next day was actually National Peanut Butter Day. Maybe it was 2 days ago. I can't remember. Okay, what else is it? Romania is Unification Day. So that's good. I like that. We recently had Unity Day in Ukraine, I think. India, this is a good one, National Girl Child Day. Maybe the boy childs get their own day, but today is National Girl Child Day, so celebrate girls and all that they are awesome. In a lot of countries in the world, they're not getting enough education. They're not quite up to snuff with other countries who are giving girls education, and we need to change this. Please, let's do this. Okay, in Bolivia, we have, it is God of Abundance, which is the Ekeko Festival. And then in Romania, didn't we already read this? It's Unification Day. Why do you have it on there twice? Website, you screwed up. Okay, so those are a bunch of good holidays, especially National Peanut Butter Day. January 24th, I'm going to eat some peanut butter. Although I eat peanut butter most days. Okay, our first word is Cantonese. Capital C-A-N-T-O-N-E-S-E. Noun from 1857. 1. A native or inhabitant of, I'm going to screw up the pronunciation of this, Guangzhou, China. Guangzhou, China. They are Cantonese. Number 2. The dialect of Chinese spoken in Guangzhou and Hong Kong. 3. A style of Chinese cooking that emphasizes fresh ingredients, subtle tastes, and relatively mild sauces. Those seem for some reason those things, fresh ingredients, subtle tastes, and relatively mild sauces, that seems oddly specific and also vague. I feel like, I don't know. It seems like there would be known for something more specific than that, but it's all, I don't know. It's very weird to me. And then Cantonese is also an adjective. Let's see. This is from Canton, which is Guangzhou, ultimately from the Portuguese word cantao. Not sure how Portuguese got into this. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, next we have Canton flannel. Yeah, flannel, like the fabric. This is a noun from 1872, and we have the number 1C definition for the word flannel. And this comes from, it's a specific kind of flannel, and it comes from Canton, China. But I don't think that's Guangzhou. Is it? Is Canton and Guangzhou in China the same thing? I don't think so. Maybe. Oh, maybe it is. Maybe it is. Maybe Canton means Guangzhou. I'm not sure. This is a little bit confusing. But anyway, that's where that flannel comes from. Next, we have cantonment or cantonment or cantonment. This is a noun from 1753. 1. Usually temporary quarters for troops. 2. A permanent military tradition in... no, not tradition. Why did I say that? A permanent military station in India. So in India, it's permanent, but in other places, it's usually temporary. A cantonment or cantonment. Next, we have cantonware. So it's Canton, which I'm guessing is the Canton, China, because it's got a capital C, and then ware, W-A-R-E, like Tupperware. This is a noun from circa 1902. Ceramic ware exported from China, especially during the 18th and 19th centuries by way of Canton. Oh, and then in parentheses, it says Guangzhou. So yes, I think Canton is Guangzhou. And then including blue and white and enameled porcelain and various ornamented stonewares. So this is probably very beautiful Canton ware, and maybe we'll post a picture. So yes, if you were wondering why Guangzhou, why the people there are Cantonese, that is because the other word for it is Canton. Okay, next we have cantor, C-A-N-T-O-R. This is the word I mentioned before a couple episodes ago with the word cantor spelled with an E-R. So this one with an O-R is a noun from 1538. 1. A choir leader. Synonym is precentor. P-R-E-C-E-N-T-O-R. Precentor. Number 2. A synagogue official who sings or chants liturgical music and leads the congregation in prayer. So I think that joke that I screwed up before was something like, so are we doing a canter, opposed to like a trot or a gallop? And they said no. And then he said, is it a rabbi? Yeah, it didn't work so well this time either. Anyway, cantorial is an adjective. And then this is just a Latin word that means singer, and it's from canere, which means to sing. Next we have cantrip, C-A-N-T-R-I-P, noun from 1719. 1 is chiefly Scottish, and it means a witch's trick. Spell is a synonym, a cantrip. But then we have number 2 is chiefly British. It's kind of similar. We have the number 2 definition for the word hocus pocus. And this is probably an alternative of caltrop, which, if it was in the dictionary, it would be, we probably read that one a long, long time ago. Caltrop. Okay, next we have cantus, C-A-N-T-U-S, noun from 1590. 1. Synonym is cantus firmus, which is our next word. But before that, we got number 2, a principal, melody, or voice. Cantus. So here we go with cantus firmus, 2 words, noun from 1847. 1. The plain song or simple Gregorian melody originally sung in unison and prescribed as to form and use by ecclesiastical tradition. So I'm wondering if that's that chanting that you sing where all the people are singing the same note and the same words all at the same time. Something like, maybe I can sing this definition that way. The plain song or simple Gregorian melody. and then it just goes on from there. But it's a lot of people singing, and it's usually lower, and it sounds very cool. And maybe they're singing it in a church or a cave or a big open room, so it's very echoey and cool. Number 2, a melodic theme or subject, especially one for contrapuntal treatment. If you want to know what contrapuntal is, go back, because I think we read something that was related to that. And then this is Middle Latin. It literally means fixed song. Cantus firmus is fixed song. It is a song, a cantus, and it is firm in what it stands for. Next we have canty, C-A-N-T-Y, adjective from 1719. It is British dialect, and the synonyms are cheerful and sprightly, very canty. Next we have Canuck, capital C-A-N-U-C-K, Canuck. This is a noun from 1835, a Canadian and especially a French Canadian. Nobody knows where this came from. You are a Canuck. I'm talking to you. Next we have canvas. First form, you can have one S or two S's. Noun from the 13th century. A firm, closely woven cloth, usually of linen, hemp, or cotton, used for clothing and formerly much used for tents and sails. Number 2, a set of sails. Synonym is sail. 3, a piece of canvas used for a particular purpose. Number 4, synonym is tent. Like you go camping in a tent. It is also a group of tents. 5a, a piece of cloth backed or framed as a surface for a painting. Also, the painting on such a surface. My dad buys a lot of canvases because he does a lot of paintings. These days he's been doing a lot more wood work, but they definitely got a lot of canvas paintings. Number 5b, the background, setting, or scope of a historical or fictional account or narrative. 6, a coarse cloth so woven as to form regular meshes for working with the needle. 7, the canvas-covered floor of a boxing or wrestling ring. Canvas-like is an adjective. And this is from, let's see. It's from the Latin cannabis, which means hemp. So that's where the word canvas comes from, because they probably, hemp was used to make lots of things, paper being one of them, or paper-like things. And so that's just what it turned into. And there's more at the word cannabis, which we read before. So we have the second form of canvas. It is a transitive verb from 1556. To cover, line, or furnish with canvas. And then our last word is canvas back. It is all one word. Looks like two words, canvas back, but it's one word. Noun from 1782. A North American wild duck that has a reddish-brown head, black breast, and whitish body, and is characterized especially by the elongate, sloping profile of the bill and head. So we shall post a picture of this canvas back bird. Duck. It's a duck. The scientific name is, how do you pronounce this? Aithia vallicinaria. Aithia is spelled Aythya. Aithia. It's almost a palindrome. Aithia vallicinaria. So those are all the words. We had Cantonese, canton flannel, cantonment, cantonware, cantor, cantrip. Oh, that's a spell. Cantus, cantus firmus, canty, canuck, canvas, and canvas back. Let's see. I think I'm going to pick cantrip as the word of the episode. That is a witch's spell, a trick, hocus pocus, all of those things. I like that one. I am apologizing to all of you who really, really love to hear me stumble through these songs that I make up on the spot. Maybe I'll get back into that, but right now I'm just sort of going with my gut and just singing something stupid whenever the feeling hits me. Because that's a hard thing to do, to make up a song on the spot. Well, I think that's it for today. This was the end of page 181. Thank you for listening. Go tell some people about it if you want to go do that. Celebrate. What did we have? We had National Peanut Butter Day, Day of Education, Compliment Day, go give somebody a compliment, and National Girl Child Day, just to name a few. Thank you very much for listening. Until next time, this is Spencer dispensing information. Goodbye. Hello, word nerds. Welcome to the dictionary. This is the podcast about all the stuff, and we are at the very bottom of page 181, moving quickly onto the top of page 182. But first, today is January 25th, 2021, here in the United States and also Australia, Canada, and the United Kingdom. Today is Burns Night, or Robert Burns Night. I should probably learn about who that is and what they do. Oh, look, I can click a link. It is Robert Burns Night commemorates the birth of Scotland's national poet, Robert Burns. So that's why it is celebrated in those different places. Okay, and then it is also in the United Kingdom Saint Dwinwin's Day. Dwinwin, that's a fun word to say. In New Zealand, it is Wellington Anniversary Day, so I'm guessing that's the anniversary of when Wellington was founded. I've been there. It's a great city. Love it. I would love to go back. If you ever get the chance, you should go there. There's a picture of me with the Lord of the Rings trolls, because the company that made the Lord of the Rings movies is based in Wellington. In the Dominican Republic, it is Duarte's Day. It's also, or in there they call it Dia de Duarte. In India, it is National Voters' Day. I don't know if that's celebrating voters or the day that everybody votes in elections, but I really think that America should have this. I think that the election day should be a national holiday, and we should all have off work so we can make sure that more people get to vote, because it is our right to be able to vote, and everybody should have that right. What is happening now is ridiculous. And then in Russia, it is Students' Day, and in Ukraine, it is Tatiana Day. So that's probably the day that they celebrate all the Tatianas. Okay, our first word is canvas, C-A-N-V-A-S-S. You could also spell it with just one S. This is a verb from 1508. Number 1 is obsolete. To toss in a canvas sheet in sport or punishment. Wow. I'm sure that there's some connection between sport and punishment, like it was probably started off as punishment, and then somehow that became a sport. It became fun. It became a competition. This reminds me of when we were kids. My dad would wrap us up in a blanket, and then real tight, and then swing the blanket around. We were little. We were 2, 3, 4 years old, so it wasn't hard. But that was a lot of fun to be a little kid just being swung around in a blanket. So that's sort of what I'm imagining, that they wrap somebody up in a canvas sheet and then they swing them around. That's probably not what it is, though. Okay, 2A. To examine in detail, specifically to examine officially for authenticity. And then the example of what they are examining is votes. So yes, they should do that. 2B, synonyms are discuss and debate. 3, to go through or go to in order to solicit orders or political support or to determine opinions or sentiments. Yeah, I feel like it could have been simplified a little bit, but yeah, they're basically talking to people to figure out stuff. And then go through, the example is go through a district. And then to go to, the example is persons. So go to people or go through a district, talk to people, figure out some opinions and sentiments. As in the example, canvass voters. So those were all transitive. Now we have intransitive, to seek orders or votes. Synonym is solicit. Canvasser, spelled with 1 or 2 S's, is a noun. And there's no etymology. Sorry about that. Okay, second form of canvas, all 1 S, 2 S's, noun from circa 1611. The act or an instance of canvassing, especially a personal solicitation of votes or survey of public opinion. Next we have canyon. Most of you probably know it as being spelled C-A-N-Y-O-N, but you can also spell it C-A-N-O-N, and then over the first N we have that tilde that little wavy symbol. Okay, so this is a noun from 1834. 1. A deep, narrow valley with steep sides and often with a stream flowing through it. I have never been to the Grand Canyon, but I really, really want to go. Number 2, something resembling a canyon, as in the city's concrete canyons. This is American Spanish, canyon. That's what the shorter spelling. Probably an alternative of the obsolete Spanish word cayon, Callon, which is an augmented version of calle, Calle, which means street, from the Latin calles, which means footpath. So yes, a canyon is like a giant street. Next we have canyoneering, noun from 1957, the sport of exploring canyons, as by climbing, rappelling, or rafting. And canyoneer is a noun. That is the one who is doing all the climbing, rappelling, and rafting. Next we have canyoning. Is this similar? It's probably similar. Noun from 1991. It is chiefly British, and yes, the synonym is the word canyoneering. Next we have, I so wanted this to be calzone, but it is canzoni. So it's spelled similarly to calzone, but there's an N, C-A-N, and then zone. So it can be pronounced canzoni, canzone, okay. This is a noun from 1589. 1, a medieval Italian or provincial, I don't know how to say that, provincial lyric poem, a canzone. Number 2, the musical setting of a canzone. And this is Italian from the Latin cantio, which means song, from canere, which means to sing, and there's more at the word chant. We have seen that so many times in the etymology recently. Next we have canzonet. Yes, I believe that is how it's pronounced. Noun from 1588. 1, a light, usually strophic song. 2, a part song resembling but less elaborate than a madrigal. Yep, that's what it is. And then, this is similar to the last one. It is from the Italian canzonetta, which is a diminutive of canzoni. And I sneezed. Okay, we are moving on to, I'm so impressed with all these. I'm not impressed. That doesn't make any sense. I love seeing these words that I've never seen before. This one is caoutchouc. Caoutchouc. You could also take off the K sound. Caoutchouc. Caoutchouc. C-A-O-U-T-C-H-O-U-C. Caoutchouc. Noun from 1775, and we have the 2A definition for the first form of the word rubber. Okay, this is French from the obsolete Spanish word caoutchouc, spelled slightly differently, which is now caucho, C-A-U-C-H-O. So the other spelling was old. And then this is probably from a language of Amazonian Peru or Ecuador. So it's a very old word that basically means some form of rubber. I've heard of rubber trees, so I wonder if this is related to that at all. Okay, next is, this is our last word of the episode. It is the word cap, C-A-P. We are doing 3 forms here, and there will be more in the next episode. So this is a noun from before the 12th century. 1A, a head covering, especially with a visor and no brim. And if I forgot to mention, this is the first form. Why would I start with the second form? I wouldn't. 1B, a distinctive head covering emblematic of a position or office, as 1B1, a cardinal's beretta. 1B2, synonym is mortarboard. One word, that's sort of a hard word to say, mortarboard. Sounds like the Swedish chef. Mortarboard. 2, a natural cover or top, as 2A, an overlying rock layer that is usually hard to penetrate. 2B1, synonym is pileus, P-I-L-E-U-S. 2B2, synonym is calyptra, C-A-L-Y-P-T-R-A. 2C, the top of a bird's head or a patch of distinctively colored feathers in this area. It's the bird's cap. 3A, something that serves as a cover or protection, especially for a tip, knob, or end, as in a bottle cap. 3B, a fitting for closing the end of a tube. 3C is British. Synonym is cervical cap. 3D, an artificial crown for a tooth. I'm so glad I don't have any of those. 4, an overlaying or covering structure. 5, a paper or metal container holding an explosive charge, as for a toy pistol. Number 6, an upper limit. Synonym is ceiling. And then the example is as on expenditures. So an upper limit as on expenditures. 7, the symbol, and then it shows a symbol that sort of looks like an upside down letter U, but very thin. So the symbol indicating the intersection of two sets, and then compare to the number 9 definition for the word cup. Number 8, a cluster of molecules or chemical groups bound to one end or a region of a cell, virus, or molecule. We have a phrase, cap in hand, in a respectful, humble, or sometimes fearful manner. Okay, now we have the second form of cap. This is a verb from the 15th century, starting with transitive. 1A, to provide or protect with a cap. 1B, to give a cap to as a symbol of honor, rank, or achievement. 2, to form a cap over. Synonym is crown, as in mountains capped with mist. 3A, to follow with something more noticeable or more significant. Synonym is outdo. 3B, to bring to a climax or conclusion, as in cap off the show with a song. Here's the song that I am capping off the show with. It's a great song. La-di-da-da-da-da-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba, da-da-ba-ba-doo-doo-dee-dee. This is the cap song. All right, I sang. I did it. I don't have to make up a song at the end. Okay, number 4, to form a chemical cap on. 5, to prevent from growing or spreading. And then also set an upper limit on, as in cap oil prices. 6, to supply with an artificial crown. The example is a tooth. Intransitive verb, to form or produce a chemical cap. Now we have the third form of cap. This is a noun from 1942, a small amount of an illegal or legally regulated drug, especially a small amount of a drug enclosed in a capsule. And there, cap is short for capsule. So we had canvas, canyon, canyoneering, canyoning, canzoni, canzonet, caoutchouc, cap. Let's see, what do I want to pick? Let's just pick caoutchouc as the word of the episode. C-A-O-U-T-C-H-O-U-C. That's a good one. Sure, why not? Okay, thank you very much for listening. And until next time, this is Spencer dispensing information. Goodbye. Hello, word nerds. Welcome to the dictionary. So today is January 26th, and let's see, in the U.S., it is National Spouses Day. Never even heard of this one. So what do? You go get a spouse on this day? Or do you celebrate your spouse? If you have one? What if you don't have one? I don't know. It is also Australia Day in the U.S., India, New Zealand, and Taiwan. No, Australia. Of course it's Australia Day in Australia. In India, it is Republic Day. In Latvia, it is recognition of the Republic of Latvia. So that's good that they recognize the Republic of Latvia in Latvia. And then in Russia, it is Customs Day. Not sure what that is. Is that the customs like when you travel, or is that the customs of like, oh, we do these traditional customs? So go celebrate those, please, and thank you. So the first word is cap, fourth form, noun from 1982. We have the 1D definition for the word capitalization. When will we see that? In like 1, 2, 3, 4 episodes. Okay, now we have the fifth form of cap. This one is an abbreviation for 1. Capacity, 2. Capital, and 3. Capitalize or capitalized with a D at the end. Now we have CAP, all caps, abbreviation for 1. Civil Air Patrol, 2. Combat Air Patrol. Next is capability, noun from 1587. 1. The quality or state of being capable. Also the synonym ability. 2. A feature or faculty capable of development. Synonym is potentiality. 3. The facility or potential for an indicated use or deployment, as in the capability of a metal to be fused. Also as in nuclear capability. Next we have capable. This is an adjective from 1579. 1. Synonym is susceptible, as in a remark capable of being misunderstood. Oh boy, many things that people say can be misunderstood, misconstrued, taken out of context, just, confused altogether. Communication is really important because, you take any phrase and it can pretty much be understood to mean at least two things, if not more. So you have to be real careful when you're talking to people. I try to be super specific when I'm talking to people and saying what I got to say, and I think that can come off as a little bit weird, but I'm trying to be very clear and specific. But at the same time, even when I'm trying to be like that, it can still be misconstrued or misunderstood as to be, depending on how the person thinks, they may take it a different way. You just got to be careful is all. Also, if you are questioning what something means, just ask them. Be like, hey, did you mean this or did you mean that? And they'll be like, no, I meant this other thing that you didn't even think of. Okay, number 2 is obsolete. Synonym is comprehensive. 3, having attributes as physical or mental power required for performance or accomplishment, as in, is capable of intense concentration. 4, having traits conducive to or features permitting, as in, this woman is capable of murder by violence. That is a quote from Robert Graves. Who was he talking about? Number 5, having legal right to own, enjoy, or perform. 6, having or showing general efficiency and ability, as in a capable lawyer. You always want a capable lawyer if you're in one of those situations that requires a lawyer. Also as in a capable performance. Capableness is a noun, and capably is an adverb. And I don't think the etymology, let's see, it's from Latin capere, which means to take. And there's more at the word heave, H-E-A-V-E. So what does that mean? You're taking, I don't know, I'm blah, 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 blah. I'm blanking on what to say this, the fact that I am blanking on how capable and capere are connected. To take, I'm able to do something, I don't know. I'm able to take something. Moving on to capacious. This is an adjective from 1606. Containing or capable of containing a great deal. So it's interesting. So it's capable, that's where you get the cape, the first part, and then it's like I think of the word space. Ooh, actually, there's the synonym, the word spacious. So yes, it's sort of capable and spacious combined to make capacious. Capaciously is an adverb. Capaciousness is a noun. This book is capacious because it is capable of holding, or it does hold lots and lots of stuff. Unlike my brain is not capacious. Moving on to capacitance. Capacitance. This is a noun from 1893. 1A, the property of an electric non-conductor that permits the storage of energy as a result of the separation of charge that occurs when opposite surfaces of the non-conductor are maintained at a difference of potential. Obviously. 1B, the measure of this property that is equal to the ratio of the charge on either surface to the potential difference between the surfaces. of course. 2, a part of a circuit or network that possesses capacitance. Capacitive is an adjective and capacitively is an adverb. And this is from 1893, and I think I've seen other ones sort of like this. 1893 was when the World's Exposition was in Chicago, and I think that there was a lot of new electrical stuff that was shown off at that event. So this was probably one of those because there was all this new electrical stuff. That's when this word was coined, is my guess. Next, we have capacitate. This is a verb only transitive from 1657. 1 is archaic. Sorry, I had some liquids before I recorded, so I got some belches. 1 is archaic, to make capable. 2, to cause, to undergo capacitation. And we will learn about that one in the next word, capacitation. But the example of a thing that is undergoing capacitation is a sperm. I think they just recently learned more about the sperm, which seems odd that they would recently learn something new about it. But I guess back in the day, they looked at them under the microscope, and based on the way that it was formed, the little tail really could only go one way. I'm not describing this very well, but basically, if the tail just went this one way, then the sperm would just go around in a circle. Which is not very helpful. That's not going to do its job if it's just going around in a circle. But then, years later, they have the technology to actually look at sperm in 3 dimensions. And what they realized was that it was actually, the movement of the tail actually made it spiral. So it wasn't going around in a circle, it actually spiraled. So yeah, that was kind of interesting. I just learned that not too long ago. Next, we have capacitation. So, a sperm undergoes capacitation. What is it? It is a noun from 1951. The change undergone by sperm in the female reproductive tract that enables them to penetrate and fertilize an egg. What change do they go through other than, that's interesting, capacitation. Okay. Next, we have capacitor. Noun from 1925, a device giving capacitance and usually consisting of conducting plates or foils separated by thin layers of dielectric, as air or mica, with the plates on opposite sides of the dielectric layers oppositely charged by a source of voltage and the electrical energy of the charged system stored in the polarized dielectric. That was a mouthful. Next is our last word. We've got 2 of them, 2 forms. Capacity. C-A-P-A-C-I-T-Y. C-A-P-A-C-I-T-Y. Oh yeah, C-A-P-A-C-I-T-Y. That's how you spell capacity. First form, this is a noun from the 15th century. 1. Legal competency or fitness, as in capacity to stand trial. 2a, the potential or suitability for holding, storing, or accommodating, as in a large seating capacity. 2b, the maximum amount or number that can be contained or accommodated, as in a jug with a 1-gallon capacity. As also as in, the auditorium was filled to capacity. And then it says to see the metric system table, also the weight table. So I guess both tables, they talk about capacity. 3a, an individual's mental or physical ability. Synonyms are aptitude and skill. 3b, the faculty or potential for treating, experiencing, or appreciating, as in capacity for love. Do we all have the capacity for love? Not necessarily, but probably. I don't know. Number 4, synonyms are duty, position, and role, as in, we'll be happy to serve in any capacity. Oh, there might be another sneeze coming. 5, the facility or power to produce, perform, or deploy. Synonym is capability, as in a plan to double the factory's capacity. I get confused on all these similar words. And then also it says maximum output, as in industries running at 3/4 capacity. 6A, synonym is capacitance. 6B, the quantity of electricity that a battery can deliver under specified conditions. And then lastly, the second form of capacity, I think I'm good on the etymology. So the second form is an adjective from 1897, equaling maximum capacity, as in a capacity crowd. So today we had cap, CAP, capability, capable, capacious, capacitance, capacitate, capacitation, capacitance, capacitate, capacitation, it's a capacitor, and capacity. I think I'm going to pick capacity as the word of the episode. When I was a kid, I would see the word, and for some reason my brain could not figure out how to pronounce it. I think I said, like, capacity. I think that's how I wanted to say it. And then I learned it was capacity. Okay, I think that's all I got today. Thank you very much for listening, and until next time, this is Spencer dispensing information. Goodbye. Hello, word nerds. Come on down. You are a guest on this episode of the dictionary. Today is January 27th. It is somebody's birthday. If they are listening, they know who they are. Happy birthday. Okay, so today is International Day of Commemoration in memory of the victims of the Holocaust. It's a very long title for, it's a very serious subject, and that is international. It's all over the world, so that's cool. There is I've heard it's a very good Holocaust museum that's actually very close to where I live, so I've never been there, and I should really, really go, because I should just go. Also in the U.S., it says Tu Bishvat starts. I don't know. Ooh, let's click on the link. This is a Hebrew holiday. It is literally the 15th of the lunar month of Shavat. It is the New Year for trees. Oh, interesting. Didn't know trees got a New Year, similar to Arbor Day. Okay, so that is that. That's a good holiday to celebrate. In Canada, it is Family Literacy Day. Also, if some of you don't like me reading these holidays, I'm sorry, but I think it's kind of important because you get to learn more about what's going on in the world. This podcast is not U.S. specific. It's obviously mostly U.S. listeners, but people all over the world can listen. And I know I've got a few listeners out there who have listened. I don't know if they still are. So yeah, it's we are all encompassing. We are one Earth. We are one human race, all living beings together, trying to just be happy and keep it together. It is in Germany. It is the commemoration day for the victims of National Socialism. I'm not going to try and read that in German. In Serbia, it is Spirituality Day, which looks like it's also known as Saint Sava's Day. And yeah, that's it. There's probably more, but it didn't show them on the website that I'm on. Okay, get to the words, Spencer. Stop talking, and then start talking again to say these words. Our first word is cap and trade. 3 words with hyphens. Adjective from 1995. Relating to or being a system that caps the amount of carbon emissions a given company may produce, but allows it to buy rights to produce additional emissions from a company that does not use the equivalent amount of its own allowance. Wow. So, yeah, what do we got to say about this? Do we have anything to say about this? We probably have some things to say about this. This is good. I mean, obviously, yes, companies should be limiting their carbon emissions, but, I don't think we're going far enough. I don't think that there are enough countries or corporations who are doing enough of this. So yeah, I mean, we're headed in the right direction, but it's not fast enough. Okay, next we have, let's see, you could say kapapi, or you could also say kapape. It is spelled C-A-P. Well, I'll just say it's cap. Second word is just the letter A, and the third word is pie, P-I-E. But they say P or pay. And then you could also spell it with an accent over the A. Capape. Capape. Adverb from 1523. And it just means from head to foot, as in armed capape for battle. Okay, so this is Middle French, capape, from just means head to foot, obviously. Okay, next we have caparison. It's not comparison, it is caparison. Comparison, yeah. This is the first form noun from 1579. 1a, an ornamental covering for a horse. Is that like what they put on when they win one of those races? Is that the caparison? Is that what they put on them? I don't know. 1b, decorative trappings and harness. 2, rich clothing. Synonym is adornment. Now we have the second form of caparison, verb from 1594. To provide with or as if with a rich ornamental covering. Synonym is adorn. Next is cape. It's like Superman's cape. First form, this is a noun from the 14th century. 1, a point or extension of land jutting out into water as a peninsula or as a projecting point. Number 2 is often capitalized. The synonym is Cape Cod cottage. This is, let's see, from the Anglo-French cape, from Old Occitan cap, from the Latin caput, which means head, and there's more at the word head. Okay, second form of cape is a noun from 1758. 1, a sleeveless outer garment or part of a garment that fits closely at the neck and hangs loosely over the shoulders. Who doesn't want a cape? Number 2, the short feathers covering the shoulders of a fowl, and that is the bird fowl. And then it says to see the duck illustration. In what was it? In The Incredibles, they had that whole conversation. It might be in something else too, now that I think about it. But in The Incredibles, I know that they had that conversation about don't ever have a cape. It's just gonna mess you up. So no capes, no capes. Okay, next is Cape Buffalo. 2 words, the C is capitalized. This is a noun from 1860. The large reddish-brown to black wild buffalo of sub-Saharan Africa, called also African buffalo. And the scientific name is Syncerus kaffir, or kaffir. I think it's kaffir, because there's 2 Fs. So it's a Cape buffalo because it is from the Cape of Good Hope in Africa. So it's not the typical buffalo that we think of here in the U.S., the bison or the buffalo. It's a wild buffalo. It's water buffalo? Is that what I'm thinking of? It might look kind of like a water buffalo. Okay, next we have Cape Cod cottage. 3 words. Noun from 1916. A compact rectangular dwelling of 1 or 1.5 stories, usually with a central chimney and steep gable roof, called also Cape or just Cape Cod. And this is from Cape Cod, Massachusetts, which is a cape because it's a peninsula, and we already talked about that. Next, we have Cape Gooseberry. 2 words. Again, the cape, the C in the cape is capitalized. Noun from 1807. Any of several ground cherries bearing edible acid berries, and also just its berry. The scientific name, or one of the scientific names, is Physalis peruviana. And this is also from the Cape of Good Hope. So maybe the Cape buffaloes are eating the Cape gooseberries. Next is Cape Horner, capital C, capital H, noun from 1840. A ship that voyages around Cape Horn. Is that the Horn of Africa, the one on the east coast where it sort of sticks out? I'm not sure. Maybe. Cape Horn, I should probably look into that, but I think it might be. So a Cape Horner is a ship that just goes around that. Next we have capelet. Noun from 1912, a small cape, usually covering the shoulders. So it's not a long cape that goes down to your feet. It's just a little cape. It's just a very stylish little cape. And sorry for the sniffles. I sneezed a couple episodes ago, and I'm recording these all together, and then my nose has just been a bit runny. Very sorry about that. Next we have, let's see, capelin. Capelin, I think that's how it's pronounced. This is a noun from 1620. A small northern sea fish of the smelt family. And the scientific name is Malotus velocis. Malotus velocis. Malotus velocis. This is from, let's see, French, means codfish. From Old Occitan, which means chaplain or codfish. It's pretty much from chaplain. Okay, next we have capella with a capital C. Noun from 1674. A star of the first magnitude in Auriga. Maybe Auriga is a constellation. This is Latin, and it literally means she-goat, from caper, which means he-goat. Oh, well, that word's coming up. And then there's more at the word capriole. Capriole. Okay, so it is a star. Capella is a star. Next we have capellini, noun from 1950. Synonym is just angel hair pasta. So this is Italian. It is the plural of capellino, which is a diminutive of capello, which means hair. And so it's just looks like hair, but it's tasty hair. Okay, next we have caper. There's 3 forms. One of these is going to be the he-goat. I don't know if it's pronounced differently, but probably not. It looks like they're all caper. Okay, so this is a noun from the 14th century. 1, any of a genus of low prickly shrubs of the Mediterranean region, especially one cultivated for its buds. And so this is, let's see, the genus is Caparis of the family Caparidaceae, which is the caper family. And then the example, the specific one is, Caparis spinosa. Number 2, one of the immature greenish flower buds of the caper, pickled and used as a seasoning or garnish. This is a back formation from the earlier capers, taken as a plural. That's about it. Okay, second form of caper. This is an intransitive verb from 1588. To leap or prance about in a playful manner. To leap, I'm leaping and I'm prancing about, and I'm in a very playful manner. I've never heard caper used that way. This is probably by shortening and alternative from the word capriole. It's a great visual. Leaping or prancing about in a playful manner. Okay, third form of caper is a noun from 1592. Number 1 is a frolicsome leap. Number 2, a capricious escapade. Synonym is prank. 3, an illegal or questionable act, especially the synonym theft. So we did not see this he-goat thing. Where did it go? It says from the word caper. Maybe it's the Latin caper, caper. So it's didn't get to English. Stayed in Latin. Okay, next we have capercaillie or capercaillie. It is spelled Capercaillie. Capercaillie. Okay, this is a, wow, there are lots of different forms. Capercailzie. Yeah, capercailzie is another form. This is doesn't say what it is, I don't think. Oh, there it is. It's way at the end of the line. It is a noun from 1536, a very large European grouse of hilly coniferous woodlands. And the scientific name is Tetrao urogallus. Tetrao urogallus. This is from Scottish Gaelic, capelcoili, which literally means horse of the woods. I wonder how large it is, actually. It's very large, but it's a grouse. I don't know. Okay, last word for this episode is capeskin. Cape and skin, all one word. Noun from 1919. a light, flexible leather made from sheepskins with the natural grain retained and usually used especially for gloves and garments. And this is from Cape of Good Hope, Africa. So we had cap and trade, capapee, caparison, cape, Cape buffalo, Cape cod, cottage, Cape gooseberry, Cape horner, capelet, capelin, capella, capellini, caper, capercaillie, and cape skin. I don't know what to pick, actually. Nothing is jumping out at me. Lots of good ones. Let's see. Maybe I shall pick capella, capital Capella. Because, I don't know, it's a star. Yeah. Let's see. Capella and Auriga. Let's see. There's a constellation in the sky, I think, called Auriga. And the star of the first magnitude is Capella. Oh, that was very bad. Not that I was trying to be good, but, you know. Capella. Okay, I don't know. I'm just babbling on now. Thank you very much for listening, and until next time, this is Spencer dispensing information. Goodbye. Hello, word nerds. Welcome to the dictionary. This is the podcast, if you couldn't figure that one out. Today is January 28th, 2021. In the U.S. and also the European Union, it is Data Protection Day. Actually, in the U.S., it's Data Privacy Day. In the European Union, it is Data Protection Day. So what do you do on Data Privacy Day? It seeks to raise awareness about the importance of personal information privacy. And then there's some other stuff. So, that's important. You should be able to have your data be all private. In Cuba, it is Jose Marti's birthday memorial. In Sweden, it is King's Name Day. Is that his birthday? Is that the day he got his name? I don't know. In Venezuela, it is National Film Day. So maybe today you should go watch a Venezuelan film. Okay, so our first word is, it is capitation. Capital Capetiin. Capitation. Adjective from 1836 of or relating to the French royal house that ruled from, these are some old years, ruled from 987 to 1328. What is that? 350 years, give or take? And then capitation is a noun, and this is from Hugh Capet. Capet? I don't know. I don't think Hugh ruled for 350 years, but his family probably did. Next we have cape work. One word, noun from 1926. The art of the bullfighter in working a bull with the cape. Some very fancy cape work. Next is capful, noun from 1873. As much as a cap will hold. It's literally a cap is full of something, that's all it will hold. Next is capias. 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 Noun from the 15th century. An arrest warrant. That's all it is. It's just an arrest warrant. Capias. This is, from Latin. It literally means you should seize. That's what it says. You should seize. That is literally what capias means. This is from capere, which means to take. And there's more at the word heave. What was the other one that we had that said to take? Was it capable? Yes, capable. Okay, so yes, capias, arrest warrant. Next is capillarity. This is a noun from 1830. 1. The property or state of being capillary. 2. The action by which the surface of a liquid, where it is in contact with a solid, is elevated or depressed depending on the relative attraction of the molecules of the liquid for each other and for those of the liquid. Those molecules are in such complicated relationships with each other. This is, the example is in a capillary tube. I feel like we all sort of know, what I'm seeing in my mind is there are examples when they put drops of water on a coin and the I can't think of the name. The water resistance. There's another word for it. It makes it sort of bubble up, and it doesn't fall over the edges. So I feel like this is sort of related to that. I'm not sure. Or like in a beaker, when you put the liquid in the beaker, the top of the water will sort of like not bubble up, but it'll sort of bubble down. It'll be like concave or convex. So I think that's what this is. Capillarity. Okay. Next is capillary. First form. Adjective from the 14th century. 1a. Resembling a hair, especially in slender, elongated form, as in capillary leaves. 1b. Having a very small bore, B-O-R-E, as in a capillary tube. 2. Involving, held by, or resulting from surface tension. Surface tension, that's what I was thinking of. As in capillary water in the soil. 3. Of or relating to capillaries or capillarity. This is, it's from Latin capillus, which means hair. Second form of capillary is a noun from 1667. 1. A minute, thin-walled vessel of the body, especially any of the smallest blood vessels connecting arterioles with venules and forming networks throughout the body. Yes, you have a whole network of blood throughout your body. Number 2, a tube, as of glass, having a very small bore. Next is capillary attraction. Noun from 1813. The force of adhesion between a solid and a liquid in capillarity. Next is capital, which is our last word for this episode. We have 3 forms. First form of capital is a noun from the 13th century. The uppermost member of a column or pilaster, crowning the shaft and taking the weight of the entablature. And then it says to see the column illustration. Yes, we have lots of columns, at least a few kinds. Excuse me, I have to cough because I have a little tickle in my throat. And I think Audrey would like to leave the room, but you are stuck here for another few minutes until I finish this up. Okay, that was capital, the first form. It is from the Latin capitellum, which means small head, or top of column. I think that's good. Second form of capital, adjective from the 14th century. Number 1 is of a letter, like the alphabet letter? Yes, I believe so. Of or conforming to the series A, B, C, etc. Oh, those were capital A, capital B, capital C, etc., rather than lowercase a, b, c, etc. So yes, capital letters. They're capital letters. 2a, punishable by death, as in a capital crime. 2b, involving execution, as in capital punishment. 2c, most serious, as in a capital error. 3a, chief in importance or influence, as in capital ships. Also as in the capital importance of criticism in the work of creation itself. That is a quote from T.S. Eliot. The capital importance of criticism in the work of creation itself. All right, that's a thinker. 3b, being the seat of government. 4, of or relating to capital, especially relating to or being assets that add to the long-term net worth of a corporation, as in capital improvements. 5, synonym is excellent, as in a capital book. This book is capital, and I also will say that this podcast is capital. We have a phrase with a capital, and this is used with a following capital letter to emphasize or qualify a preceding word, as in not an accident, but murder with a capital M. Okay? And then also as in desired romance with a capital R. Ooh, that's some serious romance right there. And then our last form of capital is the third one, noun from circa 1639, 1A1, a stock of accumulated goods, especially at a specified time and in contrast to income received during a specified period. Also, the value of these accumulated goods. 1A2, accumulated goods devoted to the production of other goods. 1A3, accumulated possessions calculated to bring in income. 1B1, net worth. 1B2, we have the 7C1 definition for the word stock. 7C1. 1C, persons holding capital. 1D, synonyms are advantage and gain, as in made capital of the situation. 1E, a store of useful assets or advantages, as in wasted their political capital on an unpopular cause. Also as in wrote from the capital of his emotionally desolate boyhood. That is a quote from E.L. Doctorow. Number 2, 2A, a capital letter, especially an initial capital letter. 2B, a letter belonging to a style of alphabet modeled on the style customarily used in inscriptions. 3A, a city serving as a seat of government. 3B, a city preeminent in some special activity, as in the fashion capital. So we ended up at the top of page 183. So we had capitation, that is a house that ruled for a long time, cape work, capful, capious, capillarity, capillary, capillary attraction, and capital. Well, I will pick capillarity as the word of the episode. Capillarity, 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 capillarity. All right, that's the worst song ever. Thank you very much for listening, and until next time, this is Spencer dispensing information. Goodbye. Hello, word nerds. Welcome to the dictionary. Today is January 29th, and it is Kansas Day in the U.S., and supposedly there's no other holidays around the world on this day, so you can spend all your energy celebrating the state that is Kansas. Okay, the first word is capital gain. 2 words, noun from 1921. The increase in value of an asset, as stock or real estate, between the time it is bought and the time it is sold. Hopefully, that value goes up, but it doesn't always go up. Next is capital goods. 2 words, noun from 1896. And let's see, there's, we have a couple synonyms. It's the same word, capital, which we read in the last episode. We have the 1A1 definition and the 1A2 definition for the third form of capital. I am not going to reread those. Next is capital intensive. 2 words with a hyphen, adjective from 1959, having a high capital cost per unit of output, especially requiring greater expenditure in the form of capital than of labor. So is that more money than work? Something I do not understand these things. I should have gone to business school. Okay, next is capitalize with an S. British variation of capitalize with a Z, and that will be sometime later, I think. It's in this episode. Okay, next is capitalism. This is a noun from 1826. It's kind of a long definition. Here we go. An economic system characterized by private or corporate ownership of capital goods, by investments that are determined by private decision, and by prices, production, and the distribution of goods that are determined mainly by competition in a free market. I don't know really what I want to say about this. Yes, it is a thing that America is doing, and I'm not so sure it's the best thing. It is a thing, but I don't know. Capitalism. Come on, capitalism, really? Yeah, it's interesting to actually just read the definition of it. Maybe I'll have to dig more into that, because I'm curious, how to compare all these different isms. Some people love it, some people hate it. I don't know. I'm going to shut up. Moving on to capitalist, first form, noun from 1776. 1, a person who has capital, especially invested in business, and then broadly, a person of wealth. And a synonym is plutocrat. It's like the planet or the animated dog, Pluto, and then crat. Number 2, a person who favors capitalism. So a capitalist loves capitalism. They've got capital, they've got wealth, so of course they're going to love it, right? Second form of capitalist could also be capitalistic. This is an adjective from 1845. 1. Owning capital, as in the capitalist class. 2a. Practicing or advocating capitalism, as in capitalist nations. 2b. Marked by capitalism, as in capitalist period of history. That is what we are in right now. Capitalistically is an adverb. Next is capitalization. This is a noun from 1852. 1a, the act or process of capitalizing. Like, well, that could be a few different things, like capitalizing a letter, or I'm capitalizing on some opportunity. 1b, a sum resulting from a process of capitalizing. 1c, the total liabilities of a business, including both ownership capital and borrowed capital. 1d, the total par value or the stated value of no par issues of authorized stock. No clue what that means. 2, the use of a capital letter in writing or printing. Okay, next is capitalize with a ZE. This is a verb from 1764, starting with transitive. 1, to write or print with an initial capital or in capitals. 2a, to convert into capital, as in capitalize the company's reserve fund. 2b, to treat as an amortizable, that's a hard word to say, to treat as an amortizable investment in long-term capital assets rather than as an ordinary operating expense to be charged against revenue from the period in which it is incurred, as in capitalize development costs. 3a, to compute the present value of, and then in parentheses there's an example, which is an income extended over a period of time. So, to compute the present value of an income extended over a period of time. 3b, to convert a periodic payment into an equivalent capital sum, as in capitalized annuities. 4, to supply capital... Wow, my brain did something there. To supply capital for. That's the end of that one. And then we have the intransitive definition, just one, and it says, to gain by turning something to advantage, as in capitalize on an opponent's mistake. Next is capitally. Capital with an ly, adverb from 1619. 1, in a manner involving capital punishment. In a manner involving capital punishment. 2, in a capital manner. Synonym is excellently. Oh, that is so excellently done. It is done in a capital manner. I'm going to call it capitally. Next is capital stock. 2 words, noun from 1709. 1, the outstanding shares of a joint stock company considered as an aggregate. 2, we have the 1D definition for the word capitalization. That is a thing with no par, stuff, and stock. Don't understand it. 3, we have the word stock with the 7C1 definition for the word stock. And I think we saw one of those similar recently. I can't remember which one. Oh, there it is. That's also the 7C1 definition for the word stock in the word capital. Last episode. Okay, moving on to capitate. It's not decapitate, it's just capitate. Adjective from 1661. Number 1, forming a head. So if a head is being formed, you can say it's capitate or capitate. And then number 2, abruptly enlarged and globose. Okay, interesting. So this is from the Latin capitatus, which means headed, like it's a thing that has a head on it, so it is capitatus. And then it's from the word caput, which means head. Okay, interesting. Capitate. I don't know. It seems. I would want to say capitated, which is actually our next word. So let's read that. That is an adjective from 1983 of relating to participating in or being a healthcare system in which a medical provider is given a set fee per patient, regardless of treatment required. And then an example of the fee per patient is by an HMO. Okay, not exactly what I was expecting, but that's okay. We are moving on now to capitation, which is our last word. Capitation. Noun from 1641. 1. A direct uniform tax imposed on each head or person. Synonym is poll tax. Number 2. A uniform per capita payment or fee. 3. A capitated healthcare system. Well, let's read them. Capital gain, capital goods, capital intensive, capitalize, capitalism, capitalist, capitalist, capitalization, capitalize, capitally. It's a weird one to say. Capitally. Capital stock, capitate, capitated, and capitation. There were no songs in this episode, which means I need to make up one for the word of the episode, which I will pick as capitate. I just like that definition. Forming a head. Forming a head, you're capitating. Right now, it's pretty snowy outside, so I think I'll make a snowman. I'm going to make the bottom, and I'm going to make the middle, and then I'm going to form a head, and that is capitate. All right, I think that is acceptable. Thank you very much for listening, and until next time, this is Spencer dispensing information. Goodbye.